After the success of the African Football League, fans across the continent, even the world, have been waiting for the start of the premier club competition on the continent. I'm talking about CAF Champions League. Yes, CAF Champions League is back and I am excited. Now, if you thought African Football League was fire, then CAF Champions League club football is a fire furnace. Now, the competition spreads across 4 groups made up of 16 teams, and a country does not have more than 2 clubs. 7 games have been played in the first round of matches, just 1 to go to complete the first round of matches. Welcome once again to my channel. I go by the name of Oscar Ntsinzi Football, where I discuss anything to do with soccer, from Africa to the world, and from the world to Africa. Now, on this episode, I really want to talk about the shocking results we saw or we witnessed in Morocco. But before I get there, I think it's only fair that we go through the 16 teams that make up the 4 groups in this year's edition of CAF Champions League football. Group A will consist of Pyramid FC, they're from Egypt, Mamelodi Sundowns from South Africa, TP Mazembe, Lubumbashi, DRC Congo, and then the new boys, unknown to many, Nodibo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or what, but Nodibo from Mauritania, spread across the continent. North Africans, more Southern Africa, and then you have West Africans, Central Africa in TP Mazembe, and Western Africa, it's an island of Mauritania. Is it an island? I'm not sure, but anyway. So they make up the 4 teams in Group A. Then Group B will consist of Jwaneng Galaxy from Botswana, ASEC Mimosa. It's good to see these West Africans since AFCON will also, Cote d'Ivoire will also be hosting the AFCON in January and February. So it's good to see that they do have a representative in this premium club competition in ASEC Mimosa. Obviously, these are the giants of the Ivorian football. And then we have boys from Dar es Salaam. I'm talking about Simba SC. And then we have the Giants, which were the runners-up of this competition, the last edition in Wydad, Casablanca. Now, Group C will consist of the Tunisian Giants in Esperance, Tunis. They are from Tunisia. And then we're going to have Petro de Luanda from Luanda in Angola, and the ES Sahel also from Tunisia. It's good to see 2 teams coming from Tunisia, because the flag bearers has always been Esperance. Sometimes you think that there's no other team that actually attempts to make Champions League football every season. Yes, you will see some of the teams in CAF Confederations Cup, but just 1 team in CAF Champions League. Anyway, and the last team that make up the 4 teams in Group C is Al Hilal from Sudan. And Group D, which is the last group making up the 16 teams, the defending champions, Al Ali. And then we have the Algerians in Wydad. They were also participants last year and the year before last. A decent team. And then we have Madiema, Akwaba, the Ghana boys have made it to the competition as well. It's good to see a lot of these, outside North Africa. I'm happy to see, because Ghana is a big nation. They produce a lot of players that are playing in big leagues outside the continent, but you really see their clubs taking CAF Champions League seriously. But anyway, Mariema from Ghana, and that makes up the last team. Then will be Young Africans from Dar es Salaam, also in Tanzania. So those are the 16 teams and that make up this year's competition. Now let's quickly go over the results since the games started on Friday. Well, the 7 matches have played, just one more to go, which is Mamelodi Sundowns and Nodibua for Mauritania. The first game was played on Friday night. Pyramid FC were hosting the Giants of DRC football in Tipi, Mazembe. And our boy, Fagri Lake, was the one who scored for Pyramid FC. And currently, Pyramid FC are leading the group. We'll have to wait for this afternoon's game between Mamelodi Sundowns and Nodibua. Now, Group B, consisting of the match that we will discuss more, we had a shocking result there. Jwaneng Galaxy from Botswana upsetting and shocking the Moroccans in their home ground, winning that game 1-0. And Simba, you know, in Africa, when you play in Africa, whether it's nations or clubs, whenever you play away, I mean, if it's a home game, attempt at least to get maximum points. And when you go away, minimum is 1 point. Don't lose that game. Now, to see Wydad Casablanca losing their first game at home, it's a surprise. It's a surprise to many. Anyway, same thing with Simba SC. Simba, they were the host and they were leading at some point for most of the game, but gave up the lead to ASEC Mimosa, meaning the group now is 3 points for Galaxy, 1 point and 1 point for ASEC Mimosa and Simba, and Wydad Casablanca is behind. Well, the predictions for this group obviously was that Wydad Casablanca will probably win the group, maybe with Simba SC following, because they've acquired a lot of experience playing almost season in and season out in CAF Champions League. So a lot of people have not given ASEC Mimosa or Jwaneng Galaxy a chance to get out of this group for knockout stages. Anyway, Group C, Petro de Luanda won their game against Al Hilal. They won their home game. And then ES Tunis, Esperance, and with their rivals, Edo du Sahel, Esperance won that game 2-0, which is probably the match of the first round. It was a fire game, end-to-end stuff. And now, the last group. Now, in Group D, the North Africans are leading, having scored 3 each. Alali won 3-0 against the Ghana boys, and Wydad also winning and trashing Young Africans 3-0. Now, what's funny about Yanga and Simba, I mean, their rivalries. I mean, any Tanzanian, if you see this video, you watch this video, do comment below. The rivalry between Yanga and Simba is so serious that there was even, I think it's a billboard on the major road in Tanzania, where Simba FC actually placed this result, that Yanga have been beaten away by Wydad. So the rivalries between the big teams and in African countries is really, which is something you really see in South Africa. I mean, when Mamelodi Sundowns goes to Cairo, be rest assured that Zamalek fans are going to support Mamelodi Sundowns, because the rivalry and the hatred between Al Ahly and Zamalek is that serious. It's something that is developing, and it's something that I'm witnessing between Simba and Yanga. Their rivalry is that big and is that serious. So whenever one of the sides lose, I mean, both of the teams are in this year's edition, which is good for East African football, to constantly see Simba and Yanga representing, and it's just funny. It's just funny. But anyway, let's now go to the main reason of this episode, and I'm talking about Morena, the coach of Jwaneng Galaxy, going to Morocco and getting 3 points, probably for the first time for this Botswana side. Adil Ramzi did say this, that in their preparation, they actually underestimated the Botswana side, and they were humble. These are not my words, but these are the words coming from the head coach of Wydad FC. Now, how did Jwaneng Galaxy upset this giant of Moroccan football? Obviously, they're a small side and they will not go to a big club like Wydad and try and play tiki-taka and impose themselves on an away fixture. But they were basically on a low block for majority of the game, almost playing a 4-5-1, and they just allowed Wydad to have the ball. Something that also surprised me. Generally, when Sundowns or even Orlando Pirates, when they go to these North Africans, more often than not, you will see a packed stadium, which is something that I was surprised with when Wydad were hosting this Botswana side. It was probably maybe 10,000 at most fans in the match, which is direct opposite with what we saw when Wydad was hosting Mamelodi Sundowns in that African Football League competition, when the stadium was packed. But this time around, it was not. But anyway, going back to the game, Morana's boys, they just allowed Wydad to have the ball, and most of the time it was sideways, and playing to their strength. North Africans whipping in the crosses, launching the balls into the box. But fortunately for Jwaneng Galaxy, they do have some big players who dealt fairly well with set pieces, with crosses, with the launches into the box. And it was just one error by the Moroccan player who played a back pass, but others might say it was a Betway pass or a Hollywood pass, a sweet true pass for Cicely, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, who just hit the ball first time, chipped it over the keeper, and that was it. 1-0, and then they defended their 1-0 lead. I don't think they went to Morocco hoping to win. They were probably planning just to get a point and go back home with the point. But to go away to such a big club as a small side like Jwaneng Galaxy and get 3 points against this big side, it is absolutely huge. Probably now the plan is when they go back home again, they might maybe try and get 3 points, maybe from in their 2 home games the most, and 9 points might be safe for Jwaneng Galaxy. They might get something against ASEC Mimosa at home. They might get something against Simba at home. Who knows? They might even get a draw against Wydad at home. Who knows? But for Wydad, for you guys to underestimate teams in Africa, those days are over. The technology now we have enables everyone to do extensive research on player profiles, how a team plays, how a team trains, set plays, and all. There is no time for mediocre preparations. Mediocre preparations will show in mediocre performances. So congratulations to Muroyana and his soldiers, Jwaneng Galaxy. This just proves that this year's edition will be fire. Even the Pyramid TP Mazembe result was probably not expected. Maybe at most a draw, a goals draw between them, maybe 1-1 or a 2-2. But for Pyramid FC to stamp the authority and say this is our home and we will definitely win at home, it's giving a sign to everyone, which is something Simba must take more serious. When you're playing your home games in CAF Champions League football, ensure that all your home games, your 3 home games you'll be playing, get 9 points. And when you go away, at least fight for a draw. We'll have to wait and see how Mamelodi Sundowns and the new boys from Mauritania, they are known to many. I know Mamelodi Sundowns does a lot of research. They've got analysts who will travel across the world, across the continent. They probably made their extensive research on the team they're playing today. And we know at Mamelodi Sundowns, you have top professionals. You have people who are absolutely, the diligence in that team, technical team, their performance analysis is on another level. And as supporters, we are not expecting a mediocre performance. But it was funny at the post-match interviews what the North Africans said to Morena. They said, Morena, your team won because they were using black magic. And the reaction of Morena is typical of any South African. You could see Pito in him, you could see Rulani in him, in his response. Very animated, but it's good. It's good that North Africans now know that anything that goes to them will go punch for punch on the field and off the field. How Morena responded to the journalist and even ended the press, that presser prematurely, standing up and leaving. It's funny, but this is what we want to see as fans. This is what we want to see as people who love football. Competition on and off the field. Yes, I think I've said a lot for this episode. If you're seeing my face and this content for the first time and you liked what you saw today, do hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel and follow. Spread it to all football lovers. Salamu alaikum to all my brothers in North Africa. Jambo to the ones in Tanzania. Bonjour and merci to all the guys in Lubumbashi, the Congolese guys, and obrigado to the ones in Angola. South Africans, this is your boy, and I'm very grateful to the ones who are coming back and loyal to the channel. I really appreciate the support. I do appreciate the engagements, the comments. I do attempt to reply to all the comments, and I am not the final authority. Yes, I'm a man born under sin, subject to correction. Also, I'm not the final authority. It's a channel of opinions, and I am not the final authority. And it's always great to hear your opinions. What do you think about this year's edition of CAF Champions League? Who do you think is going to go to the last 8? Who do you think is going to win this competition? Mamelodi Sundowns have set the bar, obviously, with winning the inaugural African Football League. And obviously, I don't think it is obviously upset Wydad, upset also Al Ahly, who are the defending champions of this CAF Champions League. So we will have to wait and see what happens this year. Give me your what do you see in this year's edition. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you all.